Okay, so now, okay, so online transaction processing and online application processing. See, if you put the information, if you put the entries in SAP, that is your online transaction processing. Then online, that is not application, online analytical processing. OLAP means analytical processing. So what is analytical processing? Suppose you want a report. That report has to be generated analyzing of your data or information, right? Because all the informations, when complete analysis has to be done, then a report is prepared. This online transaction processing and online application processing, parallelly doing these two things was difficult previously, because transaction processing requires only accepting the data, save it in the SAP memory, save it in the database. But analytical processing requires retrieving of the data from the database and processing it in the backend and throwing the report to the front end. So transaction processing mechanism is different and analytical processing mechanism is different. When there is huge number of data in the SAP system, then analytical processing and transaction processing, simultaneously doing both the things, becomes difficult. Difficult means the system hangs. The system takes lot of time to present the information before you. Transaction processing is not taking lot of time, but analytical processing takes a lot of time. So that's why before S/4HANA, there were 3 copies of the data in the 3 systems. Parallel systems was kept. That means every time when the transaction was passed, it was kept in a separate system. That is, therefore there is a arrow mark ETL. That is your transfer of the data to another system. In another system, we use accelerators to analyze the data and put it to the front end. So information passing or transaction processing was done in a different system. For report, you have to depend on a different system itself. Suppose in this particular laptop, this is connected with the server. I am putting the day-to-day transaction entry. But for report, I have to access from a different laptop, from a different system to a completely another server. Server was also different. Place was also different. The place which is meant for storing the information, from there we cannot get any report. If we want to get any report from the same place, it's taking a lot of time. So that's why business house was doing the parallelly transfer of the information from one database to another database. If somebody wants information, it has to get the information from a different database, which is the copy of the previous database. So each time, suppose let us take an example. Suppose somebody is doing the data entry in Excel sheet, but another person is there who is using some pivot tables or different Excel techniques for getting the report. So the person which is putting the data entry in the pen drive, time to time, suppose it is providing the data to that person who do the analysis, and that person who do the analysis, it do the analysis in a different system. That means one person is only devoted for the data entry. If you have the command to that person, give me the report, then his activities will stop. He will stop the data entry. Then it will design a report, extract the report from the Excel database. But if that person is given the free hand that go on data entry, you are not allowed to, or you will not be given any command to generate the report. And whatever entry you will do in the evening itself, that will be transferred to another laptop or another system. And the person which is sitting in the another system, it will only design the reports. Then things are very much easy. So similarly also in the SAP system, one server was devoted for the information storage. That means transaction processing and storing. Every night or every evening when the work is over, in the batch mode, in the batch size, the information was copied to another system, second system, and that second system report was generated, right? So that was the facility before S4 HANA. But when S4 HANA was there, then both your transaction processing and reporting was happening at a same system. There is no use of ETL. That is, you're transferring the database, transferring the data and processing it for getting a report at the another place. How it is possible? Because you know SAP is having any kind of software, it will be having a memory, right? Processor and memory. Memory is having two types. One is your random access memory, RAM is there. Another is your hard drive, which is a permanent place to reside the data. In the computer system, there is a RAM, there is a hard drive, and there is a system which is called the central processing unit, or you call it the processor. So what is the work of the processor? The work of the processor is to process your information which is stored in the database. The database or the hard drive is the device which is capable of storing, but your RAM is also capable of storing the data. But your RAM is capable of storing the data to a small extent, and the data is volatile, and it randomly puts the information before you. So hard drive and RAM, there is a difference. If you store the data in the hard drive, then retrieving the data and putting before you, it takes time. But if you put the information in the RAM itself, then instantly it will be presented before you. And the cost of the RAM or random access memory, it decreases through the passage of time. So SAP thought of, actually there was a challenge before the SAP, how the data processing will be faster, reporting will be faster. That was the challenge, because when thousands of people work, from thousands of places the data entry or information punching happens, then the database becomes slow and reporting takes a lot of time. So previously there was a challenge before the SAP, how the report will be fast reporting will be there. And SAP came up with the invention where all the informations, they keep it not in database, not in hard drive, but in the RAM itself. Because I have told that RAM and hard drive, there is a difference. Hard drive or hard disk is capable of storing the data. But once the data is stored in the hard drive or hard disk, retrieving the information and presentation is always delayed. But if the information or data is there in the RAM itself, then retrieving of the information and presentation becomes faster. So SAP S4 HANA is basing on the in-memory system. So what is in-memory system? Random access memory, shortly we can call it memory, in-memory. So in memory, that means in the RAM itself, all the information resides. The cost of the RAM is also reduced over the time. So instead of database, all the informations, S4 HANA or HANA database is capable of putting all the informations in the RAM itself. Once the informations are kept in the RAM itself, retrieving the information and presentation of report becomes easy. Less time consuming. Fraction of time the report is ready. So all the previously online transaction processing and online analytical processing, both the things were parallelly happened in the HANA database, because HANA database resides the software, resides the database in the RAM itself. right? So SAP S4 HANA is called in-memory database. That means everything is there in the RAM itself, not in the hard drive, because the purpose is the faster processing. Though from the year 2011, SAP started its HANA database, and gradually it changes to, from the year 2012, it was used only for the business warehouse. 2013, it come up with the SAP Business Suite. 2014, it come up with a new name called Simple Finance, powered by SAP HANA. And 2015, it came up with the SAP S4 HANA, which is the major release. Fourth release I have already told. Now, after HANA, SAP S4 HANA, the total SAP software can be deployed on premises, cloud or hybrid. What is on premises, what is cloud, what is hybrid? On premises means your server is kept in your own building, that is on premises. Cloud means you are hiring a place where your server resides. See, you know Google Drive, so you can put informations in Google Drive, but where is the Google Drive? Is it there in your laptop? No. Where it is? You don't know where it is, but your information is stored. So where your information is stored? Your information is stored in the server of Google. Google has a server. Most probably that server is in US, and there you have occupied a place. You have a mail ID, so by default you have a Google Drive ID also. In that Google Drive you put your information. Similarly, nowadays for putting the SAP software, you can purchase the server. Server is what? It is a computer system, part of a computer system, where you put the software. It can be kept in your own building, or if you are not capable of purchasing the hardware, then you can hire and put the SAP software in the cloud also. So Google Drive means it is there in the cloud itself. Cloud means it is there in a different place. So nowadays SAP S4 HANA can be deployed in your own server which is called on-premise in your own building, or it can be on the cloud itself. You can hire the server, or it can be in the hybrid mode. Some parts of the SAP software is there in on-premises and some part is there in the cloud. So this is the new feature. It was not possible previously. Software has to be kept in your on-premises only. But HANA flexibility is there. If you do not want to invest in purchasing your hardware servers, you can keep it in the cloud also by taking the rent. So there are different on-premises edition, cloud edition. There are different features. It has been discussed. And hybrid deployment is nothing but it is the combination of cloud as well as on-premises. Okay. So these are the different types of the cloud system and on-premises as well as the hybrid system which is there. Now, previously also there was similar kind of slide was there, as it is a ERP software. So all the departments are connected to SAP S4 HANA. Which are the departments? Major departments are Human Resource Department, Research and Development, SAP S4 HANA Finance, SAP S4 HANA Sales, Marketing, Sourcing and Procurement, Supply Chain, Asset Management, Manufacturing and Service. These were the different departments which are connected to the SAP S4 HANA. And as it is an ERP software, so everything is obviously connected, but the central focus is SAP S4 HANA. Previously it was SAP ERP. And there are also different small modules like Field Glass, Hybrid, Ariba, Concur and Hybrids. These are the value additions or some modifications some organizations, if they are interested, they can put some small applications in addition to the SAP software like Ariba, Fieldglass, Concur, etc., etc. Now, so this SAP S4 HANA connected with different departmental activities, we call it the SAP Business Suite. And there are benefits of the SAP Business Suite, that is your accelerated performance, that means the performance has been increased because it is in memory now. Previously it was not in memory, now everything is there in memory. And there is a single source of truth, because online transaction processing and online accelerated processing, everything at a one place. So there is a single source of truth. This is a very famous word, single source of truth. Everything is on a single database. Simplification is there. It is also user friendly, because previously you have to open a laptop or desktop for accessing the SAP. Nowadays you can access the SAP from your iPhones, iPads as well as your Android devices. So it is user friendly. Any place, anywhere you can connect to the SAP software. Cost effectiveness also there, because previously for adopting the SAP you had to invest a lot in your hardwares, that is purchasing of your servers, purchasing of your computer system. Nowadays you don't have to buy your server, you have to take the rent of the server from a different vendor, and you can place your SAP software in a particular rented premises also. Then innovation is there. SAP S4 HANA is rapidly innovating, rapidly changing to the requirement of different concerns, and choice of deployment, SAP deployment is up to you. You can have on-premise, cloud or hybrid, which I have discussed previously. So SAP S4 HANA, though it was started from the year 2015, but different release came in. From 2015 to 2020, there are 6 numbers of release, and we are planning to have your 1909 version, which is there in the 2019. That version we are going to use. That version is working very well. Now, how to access the SAP software from your laptop or desktop? For accessing your SAP software, you require a like applications, or you require, let us have this. I am making just Wi-Fi I am doing and connecting to my system. See, in the bottom, I clicked on a system. I clicked on a, you can call it a icon. Okay. So this icon is for, we call it graphical user interface. This icon is called graphical user interface, right? So through this graphical user interface, you can connect to the SAP, right? Through this graphical interface, see, if I click here, a small interface comes. So what is the meaning of interface? Interface is the media through which you are connected to the server. Server is at a different place, but you require a interface. That interface establishes the connection with the server. So how the connection is established? Through the internet technology. So I already have my my internet is connected now. Once my internet is connected, then I have to go to the graphical user interface. The short name is called GUI. So this is the GUI. In this GUI, I will put here, I will click here. Then I have to put my user ID, my passwords, then I will log on to the system. Then I will be log on to the SAP system. Okay. Similarly, whatever SAP system we will hire, we will practice, we will use through the remote desktop mechanism, remote desktop connection. So what is this remote desktop? See, here if I directly click, then I am able to connect with the SAP system, right? Just I have to put my ID and password. Like your mail ID and password, you have to put your ID and password. But the vendor, the software vendor, sometimes they prefer to use a remote desktop functionality. That means there is a desktop at the server, connected to the server. I will connect to the desktop of that my vendor. From that desktop, I will be connected to the SAP system. That is also possible. So in that way, we will be connected. See, this SAP software which is there, it is not there in this laptop. So I am not able to connect. But from tomorrow's class, I will bring it here and I will connect it. I will just set up here through the IP address, then we will be connected. So there are two ways of the connection. One is through the graphical user interface, which is a simple one. And another one is connection through the remote desktop functionality. So we will use the remote desktop functionality. From the remote desktop, you have to click on the graphical user interface. But here the graphical user interface is there in my system. I click here, but in your case, from tomorrow onwards, when I will log on, I will first connect to the remote desktop, which is there in Hyderabad, and in the remote desktop, it will be there in my screen, whatever there in the desktop. In the remote desktop, I will click on the graphical user interface, GUI, like this kind of icon. Then I will put the as usual way my password and ID, and I will put in the server to demonstrate and work. So, you will be having your graphical user interface, or as you know, SAP, accessing the SAP through graphical user interface, it is of the old system. But nowadays also, you can access the SAP through Fiori. Fiori is also another application which is just like your browser, internet browser. So from the Fiori applications also you can access the SAP. Advanced users or the persons who don't have any graphical user interface, they can access the SAP through the browser system, which is called the Fiori systems. So in the Fiori, there are different applications or parts which is described, and okay. So we have come up with the SAP graphical user interface. I think it is better to open up this system because everything is there in this system. Okay. See, this is the remote desktop functionality. How I am connecting to the SAP software. I can open the software through graphical user interface, GUI, or through the remote desktop functionality. See, I am connected with a place which is the front end of a computer. See, in the screen what you are looking, only these four things. So this is a computer system. It is there in Hyderabad. Now I have to go to the SAP server. For going to the SAP server, I use a logon pad, or which is called graphical user interface. Previously the logon pad was, the icon was different, now the icon is different, but both are graphical user interface. So if I click on SAP GUI for window, now this interface is coming. Now I am clicking here. Okay, then I am putting my user ID. Now I am connected with the server, right? So this is the SAP server. Now I am connected. Now I am able to work. Now I can able to do the customizations. So this is the SAP screen itself, and in this screen, first let us understand what are the parts of this SAP screen. Whatever thing you are looking in this, it is, we can call it the home page of SAP. Any website, the first page, front page is called home page. So this is the first page of SAP, but this page, this area is for the working of end users. There is an area where we do the customization. So this is the area where we will do the customization. /n. So this is the area for end user or end user activities of all the departments. Our finance department is here, accounting, financial accounting, this is already here. So let us understand the screen. Now this area is called menu bar. Okay, menu, there are different menus here. So this area of the software is called menu bar. This area of the screen is called the menu bar. This area, there is a box, this is called command prompt. So what is command prompt? If you want to go to a certain screen, either you can go through the path or you can go through the transaction code. Suppose I want to go to a place where I will pass a journal entry. I can put the transaction code FB50 and enter. Now a screen is coming where I will make the journal entry. Debit credit I will pass. Some account debited, some account credited. Or you can go through the path. Where you will go there? You will go to accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, document entry, okay, then enter GL document. I can also go there. So going to that particular screen, SAP gives you two facilities. Either remember the transaction code, put the transaction code in the command prompt here, command box, then put enter. Or click here on the left side, tick mark, green tick mark. You will reach to that particular screen. Or you can go through the path. And my advice is, don't remember the transaction code. Transaction code can be remembered through practice, not mugging of the transaction code again and again. But the path should be remembered. If you go through the path, you will also go to that place. Sorry? Transaction code is same for all over the world at all places, standard transaction codes. So that FB50, it is the transaction code Germany people are using, you are also using. So this is the standard transaction code, there is no changes. But remembering the path is very important. Transaction code you may forget it. Sometimes what happens, people put the particular path, particular transaction code or particular thing in a favorite folder, so that normally end users do that kind of thing. So they don't have to remember anything. They will put it, what is favorite? Suppose some person is doing the journal entry every day. it puts here and it puts art to favorite. Once it put arts to favorite, what happened? This particular thing come here. Once it come here, just click here, then it is also reaching. So it is time saving. Previously, if you are in the any screen, you can come back to the present screen by putting /n. If you put \n and enter, you can come to the home access, home page or the SAP Easy Access. If I go to that place through accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, and if I click here, it takes a time. But if I put in the favorite means in the front end, there is a folder called favorite folder. So if I put in the favorite folder and if we click, then automatically the screen is opened. So in this way, you can directly go to the screen and make the information entry. So let us understand, let us introduce with the screen itself. I have already told two parts. One part is your menu bar, another is your command prompt. And this third part is called your standard toolbars. Do you know what is menu and tools? In the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, menu is there. The same thing is there in the tools also. So this is your standard toolbar. Okay. And these are your application toolbar. So standard toolbar and application toolbar, there is a difference. Standard toolbar means which are fixed, but application toolbar differs from place to place. For example, suppose I put FB50. See, the standard toolbars is same, but the application toolbar changes. Here there is a editing option. Here there is a park, simulate, hold, company code, tree on, these are there. But in the previous screen, this particular thing was not there. See, there was nothing like park or other things was not available. Company code, these were not available. But standard toolbars are fixed. Here is also standard toolbar and that screen FB50. Standard toolbars is also here, but application toolbar changes. So what does it mean? That means application to application, the toolbars changes. Screen to screen, the toolbar changes. In the journal entry, the toolbar is coming like this. Suppose I am passing another journal entry, FB70. Passing another transaction code. See, in the FB70 also, there might be some other changes. So standard toolbars and application toolbars, these are the two things. And this particular middle area is called work area. Work area means you will really work in the middle area. See, these are the areas where you put the data entry, information entry. And the last area, this particular area is called your status bar. For example, suppose I put enter. Then in the status bar, a red mark, it is coming as enter valid date. Why it is calling enter valid date? Because it is asking for a document date. Document date means the date of the journal entry. But I do not put any document date. I simply putting the entry, enter. So that's why in the status bar it is saying enter valid date. So SAP software, if you do any wrong things, that will always be notified through the status bar. Suppose I am putting the date now 18th April 2022. Okay, I put enter. Okay, then I put the cursor here and put enter. Suppose I am putting the GL account number. So it is taking off. Suppose I am putting an amount. It is taking off. Okay. Now, suppose I am committing a mistake. Let us do it. It will also notify that. See, in the status bar, it is giving me a notification. What notification it is giving? It is giving 400, 300 requires an assignment to a CO object. That means what is the use of the status bar? The status bar always guides the user to accomplish its task in a correct manner. So if any wrong thing happens, it will always notify it to correct your actions. Okay. So, so we learn that what are the different parts of the SAP software itself, and what are the use of the different parts. See, here it is asking me, you require to assign a CO object. CO object means controlling object. Controlling object are, the examples of controlling object are cost center or profit center, like that. As it is an expenses, so it is asking me to assign a controlling object. If I put a controlling object in the correct manner, then it will also allow me to further areas, like, let us see. See, I put a controlling object department Y, DEPTY, then it allow me. Okay. So SAP system always guides that you do the correct thing. You complete your task in the correct manner. So everything is notified through the status bar. Okay. So menu bar is there, standard toolbar is there, your application toolbar is there, your command prompt is there, and your middle area is your work area, and the lowest of the screen, bottom of the screen, there is a bar which is called your status bar, and status bar always guides you to accomplish your task in a right manner. Okay. So let us have some discussions about the SAP implementations is concerned. Okay. Okay. I'm just diverting here. Okay. Okay. So how SAP is ready in an organization? See, SAP software cannot be directly purchased or licensed, and today a company is purchasing the SAP software, from tomorrow people start working. That is not possible, because once that software is purchased, it is just like a blank piece of paper, or it is a piece of cloth. It has to be made usable as per your requirement. Suppose you are buying a cloth, then you are making your own dress, you are giving it to the tailor, and as per your requirement the dress is prepared. Similarly, SAP software when purchased, it cannot be usable directly. It has to be kept ready as per the functions, as per the practice, as per the scenario of the organization, and it takes time. Sometimes it takes years together for implementation of the SAP. So that process is called SAP implementation process. Okay. Now, previously, before S4 HANA, the SAP implementation was going through 5 stages. That is project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, and go live. So what is project preparation? Suppose SAP has to be implemented. First of all, you have to name the list of the project team. From the organization itself, some person will be selected who are master of the functional knowledge. A team has to be selected, and the company has to hire a software company for SAP implementation. In Indian software companies who are leading the SAP implementation practice are TCS, Infosys, IBM, Accenture. Those are the software companies. They are flagship in SAP implementations. So you have to select the internal team as well as a software company for SAP implementation. Then you have to prepare a blueprint, business blueprint. Business blueprint is nothing but it is a document which is prepared by the consultants, or the software company persons are called consultants who implement the SAP, and your internal people who are combined with them, they are called your core team members. So these core team members always sit with the consultants of those software company and prepare a business blueprint. What will be our business process? What will be our business process means department to department process are different financial process, costing process, material management process, production planning process, human capital management process. So every departmental business process is designed, and that stage is called business blueprint. So those are different stages of SAP implementation actually. In the third stage is the realization stage. In the realization stage, you found out the gap between what is the expectation and what is there in the SAP. So gap fulfillment has to be done. And in the final preparation, after doing all these things, then organization go for the final preparation. In the final preparation, all the persons in the organization, they are given the training how to work in SAP, and software is also migrated. Your legacy system from your old system, the data is migrated to the SAP system, and in a particular date there is go live. Go live means from that date the end users, they work in SAP, not in the legacy system. Some cases parallel systems are also there. That means SAP work will be there, legacy system means the previous software. Normally the organization uses one software, may not be ERP, and later on they switch to the SAP. So previous software is called legacy software. So legacy software and SAP software, they can run parallel also. Once they run parallel, then at a certain point of time when confidence is increased, that legacy system is straightforward stopped and completely SAP practice comes in. But after SAP S/4HANA, that 5 stages have converted into 4 stages: prepare, explore, realize, deploy. So the time of implementation of SAP is also decreased. And SAP S/4HANA, I have called one sentence which is called universal journal or single source of truth. I have told that whatever information is passed through the SAP, that is stored in the tables. Previously there were huge numbers of tables. Finance information was kept in a table. Material management information was kept in another table. That sales and distribution people, their information was kept in another table. So table was different. Table was used for the database administration or database management. Table is nothing but it is the combination of rows and columns. But SAP S/4HANA is having only a single table. All the informations are kept in a single table. It is a very big table. That's why it is called universal truth. Okay. So that table can be retrieved through the transaction code SC11 or the transaction code SC16N. I will show you. Now SAP S/4HANA, only a single table is used for keeping the informations, all the informations. Previously there were multiple source of truth: asset accounting, controlling, profitability, material ledger. These were different tables, but nowadays there is a single table. Everything, all informations are stored. When I will start the day-to-day entry after customization, I will show you the table and you will see how informations are stored in one table only. And that table is called SC docket. So in SC docket, all the informations are kept, all the activities are kept, and therefore that is called single source of truth. So SC docket also, once things will be started, once you are in the SAP, you will feel comfortable, then I will show you the table and different activities of your tables. So this is the way in which the things happens, and this is the very basics and introduction of the SAP table and structures. Obviously, I will show you once you will be comfortable in using the software itself. And in the next class, I will straightforward go to and start the customization of the creation of a company code, etc., etc. So how many of you are really serious for the practice? Because for practice you have to take the software on rent. Okay. Actually the rent cost is 1000 rupees per month, but as you are so many in numbers, so I have tried to have the bargain. It may be 600 rupees or 700 rupees per month, maybe. Things are not finalized, it depends on your numbers. So how many of you will take the software on rent? The software what I have opened, I am demonstrated, it has to be taken on rent. Once you, I will install it in your laptop. Then you can also connect it to that particular server, and whatever customization and testing, passing of the entries I will do, you will pass that. So monthly it has to be taken on the rent. And I will tell also that a group has to be made for the participants, WhatsApp group, and whatever informations, whatever thing I have demonstrated, it is screen recorded with my voice, and whatever you are looking also, that is also recorded along with my voice. So I will put it in a Google Drive, and the link I will be given in the WhatsApp group. So you can, from the mobile also, you can open it, and you can see what are the things I am doing, or if any wrong thing you will do, wrong practice or wrong way you will do, then you, by looking at the video also, you can rectify yourself or practice. So how many of you are interested for the server? You will take the server for practice, because unless and until you will do the hands-on or practice, theory will not give you any purpose. Okay, it's all right. I will ask from the office that they will communicate you. So if your numbers will be less, then cost will be reduced. Individually they charge 1000 rupees per month for this HANA server. So it will be reduced. I have told them to put it 600 or around that. So it will be, basically it may be finalized 6, 7, whatever may be. So within the 2 months, if you take the server of 2 months and do the practice, then you will be in a comfortable position. Okay, it's all right. Tomorrow around 7 we will start. We are winding up the session, and from the office they will communicate you regarding the server and anything which is to be given you early, so that you will do the practice. And they will also make the WhatsApp group. I will put the recording of the entire proceedings. It will help you to listen and do the practice at your end. Thank you.